It's the final GTN show of 2023. Welcome to the final wrap-up and our New Year celebrations.
Oh yeah, we're going to be discussing notable events and athletes from the year just gone, as well as a bit of a reflection on life here at GTN. And then we've got the big bucks. Not us personally, sadly, but we are going to be taking a look at the pro athlete earnings from this year.
And then, of course, it's all about the new year. What we're excited about and how do we think 2024 is going to pan out. Time to dust off GTN's crystal ball.
But first, let's kick things off with a bang.
Hey. Cheers, team.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This show's only going to go downhill from here.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think, guys, we should start with racing and events from the past year. And how about Ironman? Because remember that interview from earlier on in the year?
Triathlon Hour interview.
It feels more than a year ago now.
I know.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, where Jack interviewed the CEO of Ironman, Andrew Messick, and he spent half of it eating his lunch and then abruptly got up when the subject of prize money was brought up.
So just, Andrew, you sort of just went around the question then. Do you think that the professionals deserve to be paid an increasing percentage of Ironman's revenue as the company grows?
I think we have a fair platform for our professional and our age group athletes, for that matter. We are way over time.
Well, he has since resigned as CEO of Ironman, although he is still serving, which is a bit confusing. Yeah, all quite negative news for the sport, really, until recently when Ironman announced the Ironman Pro Series for 2024 with a staggering prize purse of $1.7 million, which is definitely positive news for the pros.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the events, so to speak, or the other side of the fence, you've got PTO, who at the beginning of the year looked like they were going to be kind of pumping all this money in, and they were talking about their PTO tour, and they're going to let athletes know by October. And obviously we're well past October and we still don't have that much confirmed. We know there's the European Open, the dates and the location, same for the Asian Open. We think there's going to be 6 of these Opens, but it's still left a little bit open at the moment.
Yeah, and also on top of that, we have the PTO World Championship Tour, which is quite an exciting addition. The idea being that you will have 20 male, 20 female athletes contracted to that World Championship Tour. So you'll see the same athletes at each event, and there'll be multiple events throughout the year. But similarly, we are still awaiting details on both the athletes that are contracted and those events.
Yeah, you would think there's something kind of going on behind the scenes of PTO, wouldn't there? Bit of a panic, especially after Ironman. Like,
but still,
putting that
this
money
is
out
all
there.
very exciting for the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't just the long course race directors having headaches this year. The Paris Test event happened in Paris, of course, and they were able to hold the pro race with the able-bodied athletes, and then the very next day, the para athletes were not allowed in the water and had to be made a duathlon because of the pollution levels in that river, which is a bit worrying for next year.
It is a bit worrying, but I guess it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, most of us watched it and it was a spectacular event and a bit of an insight into what we have got coming this next summer, and I've got to say I'm very excited about that. Also, I guess you could say the Ironman World Championships was a success, although I think in reality we would rather it not split, but actually it did work well, and I think everyone came away quite happy.
Well, really though, it was about the athletes last year, wasn't it? And we saw 2 incredible performances at the World Championships, both at the men's and the women's, with Sam Lado and Lucy Charles-Barkley both blowing it out of the park.
Yeah, and then we had Ashley Gentle dominating the PTO race series, and Taylor Knibb kept us on the edge of our seats with her different race distances and her surprise debut in Kona on the back of winning the 70.3 World Champs. It was quite impressive.
Yeah, and also World Triathlon short course or Triathlete Eagle racing. I'd say one of the standout athletes has to be Beth Potter, and the second half of the season really shone, and obviously securing an Olympic spot for Great Britain. And Hayden Wilde kind of keeping us on our toes a little bit this year, but with some incredible and gutsy racing, and also then finishing off with those super impressive 70.3 performances.
Yeah, sticking with World Triathlon, I think I just want to mention in the USA Mums, they've given us a good viewing this year. So both Katie Zaferes and Gwen Jorgensen with their battle to try to get to the Olympics, and it's still ongoing. We don't know who's going to get there, but I think that's been quite fun to watch.
Yeah, and finally, when we're talking about athletes, we do need to mention a couple of greats hanging up their boots this year. Sebastian Kienle and Jan Frodeno both calling it time on their careers. They will definitely be missed racing the sport, but I'm sure we're going to see them around the sport for many years to come.
Just jumping in here quickly with a little announcement. We are encouraging you to partake in 30 minutes of exercise every day throughout January, starting obviously on the 1st of January. And to help you in doing so, we are going to be running events on Zwift. So for every day, we'll have 2 workouts to hit different time zones or your preferred time of working out. And these will range from just easy runs and rides through to actual workouts, and many of which Heather, James and myself will be leading. So you'll be able to come along, ride and run with us. We can have a little chat, do a workout and get that 30 minutes or more exercise in per day. And also it's an opportunity to get the GTN kit on Zwift, which you can't access through using any codes. This is exclusive only through doing these GTN events. So head on over to the GTN Club within the Zwift Companion app, find those events, sign yourself up, and we'll see you out there. Well, as we've touched on, there are some exciting opportunities, particularly within long distance racing for the athletes in terms of earnings. But excitingly, we have some of the numbers from this previous year. We're going to take a look at the athletes' earnings from 2023.
Yeah, thanks to Torsten Rad at trirating.com. He's given us a sneak peek on a blog he's going to release on the 1st of January with all of this earnings data, and it makes some interesting reading. Firstly, the Ironman prize money is down compared to 2022, quite significantly, about 20%, but there's a good reason for that.
I mean, that sounds surprising on the front of it, but when you delve in, it actually becomes clear, as Torsten pointed out, that it's because we had 2 Ironman World Champs the previous year. So that's basically answers that one. And then interestingly, we see, I think it might surprise quite a few people, an increase in the 70.3 prize money. I think it's by 12, so from average of 37,000.
They actually added 3 races and there was a 12% increase in the amount of prize money in 70.3
per
races.
race as well.
Yeah, so the total average per race actually went up. So Ironman were actually putting more money into those 70.3 races.
Which I didn't see at all. I really didn't expect that. Also, PTO was down, but mainly due to the fact they didn't have a Collins Cup this year.
Yeah, that's obviously a big money spinner for the pros that they completely cut out in 2023. Interesting though, Challenge added 10 races to their series. From 20 races, they went up to 30 races in 1 year, which obviously means that they also handed out much more prize money, 15% more prize money on the year before. But it's really good to see that side of the sport growing.
I don't think we'd noticed that either.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like quite regularly on the show we're going, Challenge added a new race, and now we realise why, because they've added 10 in a year.
Yeah, and actually overall, looking at all of this, including Super League, various other means, we've actually got a drop, unfortunately, in overall earnings, down by, I think, is it 4.38 million, which is actually down to the lowest it's been since 2015, which is a bit of a shame, really, to see happening.
Yeah, it's not a massive drop, though. It's not like the bottom's falling out of the pro sport or anything like that. Like, there's still money.
I guess there's a lot of recovery still from COVID. Yeah, I know we don't like to talk about that, but it's probably still kind of coming back.
That is a big thing. Well, let's get on to what the athletes actually earn, because this does make for some interesting reading. Any guesses on who the highest earning athlete was for the year?
Christian Blumenfeld last year, wasn't it?
It was.
And by quite a margin.
I think it was about $500K last year, dollars. This is US dollars we're talking about.
Well, he was knocked off that top spot by none other than Annie Haug.
A woman,
Annie Haug taking a total of $335,000 in prize money in 2023, which is really good. Of course, $250,000 of that coming from PTO races and her success at those events. So that's a big chunk. And the bonus
as well. We haven't sort of mentioned that, but these numbers for the PTO, including the bonuses.
Yeah, the year-end bonuses, which are, of course, next year there's a similar bonus from the Ironman Pro Series that's added in there. So that's going to make for interesting reading. Christian Blumenfeld is second on the list, though. He didn't fall too. He still earned a fair old amount.
And that's without the World Champs, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, exactly. Ashley Gentle in third, not surprisingly, after her success at those PTO races. And Taylor Knibb in fourth on the earnings. Also not surprising, considering her success at so many different distances. Yeah. But it doesn't feel like she's been as prolific across the whole year as some of the others. So she's done some serious earning in some short few months.
And what about the highest World Triathlon Series racer? Because I know there's been quite a lot of talk recently about that divide between long course racing and the short course racers not being able to make as much of a profit.
Yeah, long course athletes are actually highest on the list in general. Hayden Wild was the highest World Triathlon / Super League athlete, and he he had that 170.3 win.
Yeah, don't think that makes that much.
Yeah. Was it Leo Berger?
Didn't add too much. Leo Berger was, let me just find him on
Just
the list
behind
here.
him,
He
I
was
think.
10th, yeah.
Yeah.
9th for Hayden Wild, 10th for Leo Berger on that list, but still 9th and 10th in the total earnings for those short course. They should all step up to long course, shouldn't they?
Well, we'll see what happens after the Olympics, won't we?
Yeah, we'll go to the next cycle after the Olympics and we probably will see exactly that. Other interesting ones to pull out. Daniela Reef all the way down in 30th
Yeah,
position.
that sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
For such
I think she probably compensates for a fair amount of that with her sponsor.
I'm sure she's
Well,
not
that's
getting
we
it.
should point this out. This is purely from race earnings, so
Yeah.
obviously this doesn't take into account sponsorship.
Exactly. It is also interesting to see a fairly even spread, men and women, throughout the list
Yeah.
if you just go in through the earnings. So, which is good to see.
A lot
for,
of sports
for
could look to
triathlon.
triathlon for
Yeah,
that.
here to
couldn't they?
triathlon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Sam Ledlow also 15th on the list, so quite a long way down, but then that's not surprising. He did only really have one really successful race, although he chose a good one to be his successful
And
race.
again,
for
I'm
the
sure
year.
his bonuses were all right from that one too, weren't
I'm
they?
sure they were.
Yeah, well, thanks once again to Torsten from Tri Rating. The whiz he is. So yeah, do go over and check out his website, and all of this will be up there very soon.
Well, I think that's enough on all the pros and their riches. It's time to turn things around for us to be a little bit self-indulgent and reflect on our 2023 highs and lows, James. Well, what springs to mind for
Have
you?
there been any highs? Have you-
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
It's been
good.
a whole
Phew.
year of highs, Mark.
Nah.
There's been no lows.
Well, look at him in his lovely little bow tie. He's having the
He's
best
British
time
now.
ever.
I'm surprised you didn't sneak a South African bow tie in, to be honest.
I don't have one, but I would have. I think my highlight was probably Roth and the relay and
Yeah.
running that whole marathon was. I mean, obviously, I've been there before, a lot of memories, and a lot of them came flooding back running that marathon. I didn't run anywhere near as fast, but I met a lot of people who I knew from back in the day, and it was just fun the whole way through. I really, really enjoyed it.
You
No.
could enjoy it for longer, couldn't you? By the fact that you get more
I
out of
definitely
it.
got my money's worth that day.
Yeah, I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed that day, or just the whole trip. Really,
Yeah.
it was great, and yeah, thanks to Challenge for sort of hosting us there as well.
Yeah, I think I'm on that one as well. But also, I just love doing relays. I think I've realised maybe because it's like a bit easier, but also because it's just more fun. And the one with Anna doing the Xterra relay, I also just thoroughly enjoyed it. That it's just like it just makes it a bit more lighthearted doing a relay event.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed the retro triathlon, dressing up in 80s. Like, that's actually something to do on New Year's quite often, dressing up in 80s stuff. I've done that a few times on New Year's Eve. But I did enjoy that. I mean, there were bits of it that were really uncomfortable, and there's a reason the stuff has progressed, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, mine also sort of big notable moments. Also, just tracking the Norseman event with Sebastian Kienle and Jon, like in amongst it really unfolding and happening, and the attacks. It was just a very unique and special experience to be a part of. Yeah, very cool.
What about UTS? Is that hitting the good or the bad?
Oh, a bit of both, because I had like a horrific day with stomach issues and all sorts, but I loved the event as well. And yeah, I was chuffed with my performance considering. So yeah, like really, I look back on it fondly.
I think I relate to how you're feeling, and you didn't feel like that, but I think James and I did for the Frog Graham. So
Yeah.
like I put that in my worst list, but actually
It's
like
one of my best memories of the year, actually. It was one of the coolest challenges we've done and one of the most awesome places we've done. But also, I've got vivid memories of the bottom of the first descent and my quads just being finished. And I was like, we've still got like 50 kilometers to go and my quads are gone. And it was a long day from
it
there
was
on
so
in.
painful. I was just like, at the time I didn't know you were in such a state because that was where I was at, and I was just like, all I've got to do is keep going. I can't drop out
But
on
we
the guys
both got
already.
through- we both got
we
through
did,
it.
yes, cheers to
Yeah.
that. And Mark was patient enough to wait for it.
Well, I've got to say, and it also gives me similar feelings to our recent marathon every day, marathon a day for a week, in which James, you had a couple of sort of low patches, and it's really hard when you're not in that low patch how you navigate that with the people.
Generally, 100 meters plus distance between you is the best way to negotiate those things.
and I probably should have adopted that much sooner. But yeah, that was also, I'd probably say that's, I'm really pleased and happy we've ticked that off. It's just a cool thing to I can do that. I've always wondered whether I could.
We're not doing another
sure
one
I'm
of
going to
those
do
in
another.
2024. No.
But I mean, these are all like epic challenges, but you mentioned following Norseman. I actually really enjoyed working with Phil and seeing
was
him
about to say,
progress
yeah.
on his 5K, and like, you know, we get caught up on when we look back on the year, we remember all of these big things that hurt or like were huge videos, but I just really enjoyed like Phil's enthusiasm and just like how much he improved. And I think it's just a nice little reminder of actually like what our viewers are going through a lot of the time as well.
I was thinking about Phil as well, and also currently we're working on a bit of a project with a number of runners here in our company on Couch to 5K, which will be coming very soon, so stay tuned. And I'm actually quite inspired by a lot of them and the enthusiasm, so yeah, stay tuned for that one.
All right, it's almost time to gaze into our crystal ball for 2024. But first, I think we should hold ourselves a little bit accountable for the predictions we made a year ago for what was going to happen in 2024.
Yeah, I think I think we had a glitchy crystal ball last year. Glitchy crystal ball.
So Mark's prediction, if you remember or cast your mind back, was that a notable number of pros will adopt this power shift.
No. Hang on. I said notable pros. I think we're going to see some notable pros this year racing on the classified power shift hubs. Oh. Which is a notable number. And Carl Smith. We all know who Carl Smith is. He's a notable pro. Ruth Hassel, also a notable pro.
Mark basically predicted that the classified power shift will sweep the pro field and everyone will run.
You're putting words in my mouth now. I never said sweep. I said notable pros.
I'm sure we've got it. We can dig it up and find it.
And we'll record this too because he says it's still going to happen in 2024. So.
Okay, I'll put my hand up for mine. No excuse. I was kind of, I guess, dreaming for her, but I predicted that Lucy Charles-Barkley would qualify for the Olympics. Lucy Charles-Barkley qualifies for Paris 2024. Well, but then she ended up as world champion. So, I mean, well done to Lucy. Exactly. I didn't win, but I'm happy she did.
Yeah, I also... I thought I'd gone for a really safe prediction at the beginning of 2023. I was like, oh, you've gone easy there. I said a Norwegian will win the Ironman World Championships. And neither of them even started.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't get that one right. Okay, let's put a pin in that one then and move swiftly along to our predictions.
Let's get a new crystal ball.
Yeah. We need to polish it a little bit more for 2024. I'm going to say, and this might actually be pushing the boat out a little bit because the French are prone to not doing what we expect them to do, but I think there's going to be a French person getting a gold medal in Paris at the Olympics.
Okay, well... My predictions are sort of related to the Olympics. I'm looking at Hayden Wilde, who's going to become 70.3 world champion, having won a medal. I don't necessarily think he's going to win, but I think he's going to win a medal at the Olympics and then go on and become...
Both of those are fairly good, safe prediction.
Safe. You were like, yeah.
His Ironman 73 world champions are happening in New Zealand, and he's already said that's a major focus.
Well, you should have put it as your prediction then, if you're so sure about it. I have one more before we come to you, Mark. I think Anfredina is going to make a comeback.
Oh, no, that is a bold one. That is a really bold one.
I mean, I think we'll see him at some events, but
yeah,
you think we'll see him
like
online?
World Champs, back in Kona, because, it's Kona after Nice.
Yeah, well, that is a bold prediction.
Yeah.
It's almost as bold as my classified power shift.
Okay, so what are you going?
What does your crystal ball say?
Tech. No, I also, talking about the Olympics, I feel like it's coming to a bit of a boiling point. There's talk about tech in certain governing bodies with the mixed relays and stuff. There's been lots of tech sort of rumoured for a long time. I think we're going to see some really exciting tech at Paris at this year's, and I'm talking like shoe tech that we have never seen before, stuff like that. So
that's incredibly vague.
But I'm excited, all right. And you wait, you'll be
This time next year we'll have this discussion. But before we wrap things up, I think we should just have a quick kind of what we want to do next year, our hopes and our goals. I mean, we don't normally quite achieve them. We won't reflect back on last year's ones, but James, what are your ambitions for 2024?
I want to get running fit, and I've entered a few races already, entered the Bath Half in March, and I'm hoping to give a good crack at running that really fast if I can. I want to get, fast 40-year-old.
I'm on the fence as to whether to join. Don't know at the moment whether I can commit.
See if I can twist.
Watch your space.
See if I can twist his rubber arm into joining me. And then I have also entered the UTS, the Ultra Trail Snowdonia, which Mark did last year. And if you remember, I broke my foot in the lead up to that and couldn't join him. Well, that's not good. Sad face. So that's definitely on the unfinished business
and I'm
list.
definitely coming to fanboy and cheer on.
You're going to try and beat his time?
Oh, of course he is. Of course he is.
And his position.
I was unwell, remember? All right. I was very unwell.
Yeah, that's definitely on the list.
Are you going back to that? Going longer? Going faster?
No. I had thought about doing some ultras, but But I'm thinking of actually maybe going the opposite direction and just going back to our roots of triathlon, because we are a triathlon channel after all, and maybe doing a bit of duathlon or triathlon, not necessarily fast, but just getting stuck in and having a bit of fun with it. And another thing that I've been quite keen to get stuck into for many years is a bit of orienteering. And there's some fun ones in the UK, so I was going to start with something short and then maybe do something like OMM if I can entice one of you to join me.
I'll join if you could be my navigator, because I'm definitely worried about getting lost in the mountains.
You don't want Mark 100 metres
No,
ahead
I
of you
need
on that
my
one.
GPS watch, thank you very much.
Oh, it's not allowed. Not allowed.
I'm actually also keen to go back to triathlon because I feel like I haven't done a triathlon that I've sort of trained for. I mean, we do the odd one, don't we, on the channel, but I would love to. I still want to get under 5 hours for 70.3 at some point. I've sort of I think I'm 5:01 or something years ago. So now I've got like much better technology with shoes and bikes. I feel like I don't have to be fitter. I might be able to like get under that. So that's an aim. And combined with that is to do some cycling because I really haven't done much cycling this year.
Just one ride then in 2024.
Yeah, that'll be a better.
One ride will be 100% improvement.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to try high rocks a little bit this year, and after seeing Joe Skipper and things. So I think mission to get a bit strong.
Throwing those weights around.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Wow, awesome. Well, here's to 2024,
Yeah.
Team GTN. Thank
Cheers,
you
guys.
for this year. Congrats.
And cheers, guys, for supporting us throughout the year. And let us know what your goals are as well.
Cheers.
Happy New Year.
Down it. No, sorry, I'm only kidding.